Have you ever felt like someone was stealing your peace, draining your energy, or undermining your joy, without you even realizing it? As we grow older, the need to protect our emotional well-being becomes more vital than ever. But what if the people closest to us are the very ones disrupting the tranquility we've worked so hard to cultivate? In this video, we're diving into 5 personality types that can rob you of your happiness in your golden years. The manipulator, the narcissist, the critic, the irresponsible, and the ungrateful. You might recognize some of these behaviors in friends, family members, or acquaintances. But more importantly, we'll explore how you can protect yourself, set boundaries, and reclaim the peace you deserve. By the end of this video, you'll discover not just how to identify these toxic patterns, but also how to cultivate relationships that uplift and support you. So, if you're ready to create a life where your kindness is respected, your energy is preserved, and your happiness is prioritized, keep watching. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. 1. The manipulator, a thief of peace and emotional balance. As the years pass, the importance of peace and emotional equilibrium grows exponentially. It becomes not just a desire but a necessity, a sanctuary you've cultivated through decades of hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. Yet, there are those who seem to exist solely to disrupt this hard-won tranquility, manipulators. These individuals often come disguised as people in need, cloaked in vulnerability or dependence, their pleas wrapped in sympathy and urgency. They skillfully exploit the empathy of others, appealing to your nurturing instincts, especially if you've spent a lifetime caring for those around you. Picture this. The day begins with the kind of serenity you cherish most. The soft morning light spills through the curtains, and the world feels still, calm, and safe. You sit with a warm cup of coffee, reflecting on the beauty of a life filled with both challenges and triumphs. It's a moment of rare and profound peace. Then, the phone rings. A familiar voice, one that often carries a hint of neediness, interrupts the silence. "Hi, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I need a little favor," they begin. At first, it's something small, a ride, an errand, or perhaps some financial help. You agree, of course. You've always been the dependable one, the person people can count on. Helping feels good, a natural extension of your generous spirit. But soon, the requests don't stop. They come more frequently, become more demanding, and start to feel less like genuine needs and more like expectations. Manipulators rarely reveal their true intentions outright. Instead, they operate subtly, weaving guilt into their words like a master craftsman. They might say, "I don't know what I'd do without you," or "You're the only person I can rely on." These statements seem innocent, even flattering, but they carry an undertone of emotional blackmail. If you hesitate to help, they might remind you of all they've done for you in the past, or imply that refusing them would mean abandoning them in their hour of need. It's a tactic designed to make you feel as though your kindness is not a choice but an obligation. The effects of this manipulation are gradual but insidious. What begins as a single favor evolves into a pattern of constant demands. Their crises begin to overshadow your days, encroaching on your precious time and energy. That morning coffee, once a ritual of peace, is now interrupted by calls for help. The afternoon walk you looked forward to is cut short because you've been roped into running someone else's errands. Over time, this dynamic doesn't just drain your physical energy, it erodes your emotional balance. The joy you once found in the freedom of your own choices begins to feel like a distant memory. Recognizing this manipulation is a vital step toward reclaiming your life. Manipulators thrive on your reluctance to set boundaries. They know you value harmony and avoid conflict, and they exploit this to their advantage. They count on your fear of seeming unkind, on your unwillingness to disappoint others. But here's the truth. Saying no is not an act of cruelty. It's an act of self-respect, a declaration that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's. Setting boundaries with manipulators is not easy, especially if they're people you care about deeply. It requires courage and a commitment to protecting your peace. The next time someone asks for a favor that feels like too much, take a deep breath and respond with clarity and firmness. "I'm sorry, but I can't help this time." These words may feel heavy at first, but they carry immense power. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Your boundaries are valid simply because they protect the sanctuary of your peace. It's important to understand that manipulators often rely on the emotional hooks they've embedded over time. They might protest or push back, accusing you of being selfish or uncaring. In these moments, remind yourself that true kindness is not about sacrificing your well-being for others. It's about giving from a place of abundance, not depletion. By setting boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're teaching others to respect you. Imagine the alternative, a life where your time is your own, where your mornings are filled with quiet reflection, your afternoons with pursuits that bring you joy. This is not selfishness, it's self-preservation. The manipulator's power diminishes the moment you reclaim your right to say no without guilt. They lose their hold when you prioritize your peace over their demands. Your peace is sacred. Your time is precious. Your emotional balance is worth guarding fiercely. The world may call you strong, kind, and dependable, but these qualities are not meant to be exploited. They are gifts you choose to share, not debts you are obligated to repay. By standing firm, you send a clear message, to others and to yourself, that your kindness is a gift, not a commodity, and no one has the right to take it for granted. In the end, setting boundaries is not just about protecting yourself from manipulators, it's about reclaiming your life. It's about ensuring that the years ahead are filled with the freedom, joy, and tranquility you've worked so hard to achieve. You deserve a life where your peace is undisturbed, your choices are your own, and your kindness is shared freely, not coerced. And when you look back on these moments, you'll know that choosing yourself was not only the right choice but the most loving one you could make. 2. The egocentric or narcissist, draining the joy from meaningful connections. Old age is often described as the golden years, a time for forging meaningful connections, reflecting on a life well lived, and sharing the wisdom accumulated over decades. These moments of exchange are precious, an opportunity to both give and receive in relationships. But when interactions involve egocentric individuals, often referred to as narcissists, they can quickly turn into draining, one-sided experiences that leave you feeling invisible and undervalued. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Picture this, you're sitting in your living room, sharing tea with a family member or a longtime friend. A cherished memory comes to mind, something that warms your heart and feels too good not to share. You begin to speak, painting the scene with vivid details, only to be interrupted mid-sentence. The person across from you, seemingly oblivious to your story, redirects the conversation to their own experiences. "That reminds me of the time they begin, hijacking the narrative and effectively silencing you. The focus shifts entirely to them, and your story, once alive in your mind, fades into the background. At first, you might brush it off as an isolated incident. Perhaps they were excited or didn't realize they interrupted. But as time goes on, you begin to notice a pattern. No matter the topic or the setting, they dominate every conversation, ensuring that the spotlight never strays too far from themselves. What should be a meaningful exchange feels more like a performance, one where you're relegated to the role of audience, clapping politely at the appropriate moments but never truly seen or heard. For older adults, this dynamic can be particularly disheartening. After a lifetime of unique experiences, you've earned the right to share your stories, insights, and wisdom with those who claim to care. These moments of sharing aren't just about nostalgia. They're about connecting, leaving a legacy, and finding validation in your journey. But with narcissistic individuals, these opportunities are stolen, replaced by their incessant need to center themselves in every interaction. The toll of such relationships is not just emotional, it can be deeply spiritual. Narcissists often have a way of making you question your worth. Their constant self-absorption sends an unspoken message that their stories, feelings, and needs matter more than yours. Over time, this dynamic can erode your sense of self, leaving you feeling dismissed, frustrated, and emotionally exhausted. Recognizing and addressing this behavior is crucial to preserving your emotional well-being. The first step is acknowledging that you cannot change a narcissist's nature. They thrive on attention and validation and are unlikely to alter their behavior. However, you can change how you respond to them. Setting clear and firm boundaries is essential. For example, if they interrupt you mid-story, gently but assertively steer the conversation back. "I'd like to finish what I was saying." This simple statement reclaims your voice without escalating the situation. Similarly, if they dismiss your feelings or disregard your perspective, it's important to assert yourself calmly but firmly. Try saying, "I hear what you're saying, but this moment is important to me too." Statements like these remind them, and yourself, that your thoughts and emotions are equally valid and deserving of respect. Equally important is surrounding yourself with people who truly value and listen to you. Seek out relationships with individuals who appreciate your stories, who take the time to ask questions, and who leave you feeling enriched rather than depleted. These are the people who will remind you of your worth, who will celebrate your life's journey alongside you, and who will foster the kind of connections that bring genuine joy and meaning. It's also worth reflecting on the boundaries you've set, or haven't set, in these relationships. Are you allowing a narcissist's behavior to overshadow your needs? Are you giving them more time and energy than they deserve? Learning to prioritize your peace and happiness is not selfish. It's an act of self-care and self-respect. Finally, consider this. Life is too short, especially in the later years, to spend it with people who don't see or hear you. Every moment is an opportunity to connect, to share, and to feel truly alive. Don't let the egocentric nature of a narcissist rob you of these moments. You have stories worth telling, wisdom worth sharing, and a presence worth cherishing. Surround yourself with those who make you feel that truth every day. In the end, managing relationships with narcissists is not just about protecting yourself from their self-absorption. It's about reclaiming the joy and mutual respect that define meaningful connections. By setting boundaries, asserting your worth, and seeking out relationships that uplift you, you ensure that your golden years are as fulfilling and enriching as they deserve to be. 3. The critic, undermining the freedom of aging. As we age, one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is the freedom to live authentically, to embrace who we are, celebrate what we've achieved, and let go of the need for external validation. Aging can be a liberating experience, a time to bask in the truth of your journey without the weight of societal expectations. However, critics, those who seem to find fault in everything, pose a serious threat to this freedom. Their seemingly endless stream of helpful advice and unsolicited opinions can plant seeds of doubt and negativity that erode your self-confidence and joy. Criticism, often veiled in the guise of concern, comes in many forms and from many sources. It might be a partner who constantly comments on your appearance, pointing out wrinkles or weight changes, subtly implying you're not meeting some unspoken standard. It could be a family member who questions your decisions, second-guessing how you spend your time or manage your finances. Perhaps it's a neighbor who always has something to say about your garden, your home, or even how you spend your afternoons. While one comment might seem harmless, the cumulative effect of repeated critiques can create an oppressive culture of judgment, a constant reminder of perceived inadequacies. Imagine this. You've taken up painting in your retirement, finding joy in the swirl of colors and the freedom to create. It's a hobby that brings you peace, a quiet escape from the demands of the world. One day, a friend visits and glances at your work. Instead of encouragement, they say, "That's nice, but the proportions seem a bit off. Have you thought about taking a class?" Their tone may seem innocent, but the words linger, making you question your abilities and the joy you once felt in your creative outlet. Critics often frame their comments as attempts to help, positioning themselves as well-meaning advisors. But their words, even if unintentional, can cut deeply. Over time, their persistent negativity can lead you to doubt yourself and diminish the satisfaction you take in your accomplishments. This is especially damaging in later years when self-acceptance and contentment should take center stage. To protect your emotional well-being, it's essential to learn how to filter criticism effectively. Start by asking yourself two key questions. Is this criticism constructive? Does it come from a place of kindness and respect? If the answer is no, then the comment has no place in your life. For example, if someone criticizes your hobbies, your appearance, or how you spend your retirement, respond with quiet confidence. I appreciate your concern, but I'm happy with my choices. These words are simple yet powerful, a reminder to yourself and others that you are content with the life you've created. Equally important is surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. Seek out relationships that honor your accomplishments and enrich your life rather than diminish it. True friends and loved ones celebrate your journey, appreciating your wisdom and valuing the unique perspective that comes with age. These connections provide a safe space for you to express yourself without fear of judgment, creating a supportive environment where you can thrive. It's also worth reflecting on the motivations behind criticism. Sometimes, critics project their insecurities onto others, using judgment as a way to mask their own fears or shortcomings. Understanding this can help you take their words less personally. When you recognize that their comments say more about them than about you, it becomes easier to let go of their negativity and focus on your own truth. Living authentically in the face of criticism requires strength and self-awareness. It means trusting yourself and valuing your own opinions above the noise of others. It's about choosing joy over validation, contentment over conformity. This isn't always easy, especially when critics are close friends or family members. But with practice, you can learn to assert your boundaries and prioritize your well-being. Imagine a life where the opinions of others no longer dictate your happiness. A life where your hobbies, choices, and achievements are celebrated rather than scrutinized. This is the freedom that comes with releasing the weight of unnecessary criticism. It's a freedom that allows you to embrace the beauty of aging, to live fully and unapologetically as the person you've become. In the end, the critics in your life are only as powerful as the attention you give them. By filtering their words, setting firm boundaries, and focusing on relationships that nurture your spirit, you reclaim the joy and authenticity that define a life well lived. Aging is a time for reflection and celebration, not for doubting yourself or questioning your worth. Let the voices of the critics fade into the background, and instead amplify the voices that lift you higher. You deserve nothing less. 4. The irresponsible, avoiding the burden of others' chaos. As the years pass and the weight of past obligations eases, old age offers a rare opportunity to focus on yourself, your happiness, your peace, and your well-being. But this period of freedom can be disrupted by the presence of irresponsible individuals, those who consistently refuse to take responsibility for their own lives and instead expect others to bear the weight of their chaos. Whether they're family members, friends, or acquaintances, their behavior can quickly rob you of the serenity you've worked so hard to achieve. Irresponsible people are often adept at manipulating your compassion. They know you have a kind heart, one that's been shaped by years of caring for others and putting their needs ahead of your own. They use this knowledge to their advantage, drawing you into their tangled web of poor decisions and unresolved problems. What may begin as an occasional request for help, a loan to cover a sudden expense, assistance with an overdue bill, or even a place to stay, can quickly spiral into a pattern of dependency. Their inability or unwillingness to take responsibility for their own lives leaves you feeling drained, both emotionally and financially. Imagine this: a relative or friend calls you, their voice fraught with urgency. "I'm in a bind," they say. "I just need a little help to get through this rough patch." You sympathize, wanting to help ease their burden. You extend a loan, offer advice, or give them your time. But then it happens again. And again. Each time, their promises to repay or resolve the situation fall flat. Instead of gratitude, there's an expectation, an entitlement to your resources. Their problems, which they've created through irresponsibility, slowly become your problems. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. For older adults, this dynamic is especially harmful. This stage of life is meant to be a time for reclaiming energy, enjoying hard-earned financial security, and focusing on personal well-being. Carrying the weight of someone else's irresponsibility can strip you of these joys, replacing them with stress, anxiety, and frustration. To protect yourself, it's crucial to recognize and address the behavior of irresponsible individuals. The first step is to set clear and firm boundaries. If someone repeatedly asks for financial help, respond with compassion but firmness. "I'm sorry, but I can't assist you. Perhaps you could explore other options." These words may feel difficult to say, especially if you've been a source of support for this person in the past, but they are necessary to preserve your own peace and stability. Remember, your resources, be they financial, emotional, or physical, are finite, and it's your right to decide how they're used. When setting boundaries, it's important to resist the guilt that irresponsible individuals often try to instill. They might say things like, "You're the only one who can help me," or "If you don't step in, I don't know what I'll do." These statements are designed to tug at your heartstrings, but they ignore a fundamental truth. You are not responsible for solving their problems. By continually rescuing them, you inadvertently enable their behavior, allowing them to avoid taking accountability for their actions. Encouraging them to take responsibility for their own lives is not cruel. It's a necessary step for their growth and for your peace of mind. Direct them to resources that can genuinely help, such as financial advisors, job assistance programs, or community services. While it's natural to want to help those you care about, providing solutions that empower them rather than enable them ensures they learn to stand on their own feet. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and value your well-being. Seek out relationships with individuals who enrich your life rather than drain it. These are the people who will support your journey, share in your joys, and respect the choices you make to protect your peace. Reflect on this. Your life, especially in your later years, should be a time of lightness, free from unnecessary burdens. You've spent decades fulfilling obligations to others, raising children, supporting loved ones, contributing to your community. Now, it's your turn to prioritize yourself. Allowing irresponsible individuals to monopolize your time, energy, or resources undermines this sacred time for self-care and personal fulfillment. Imagine a life where you no longer feel obligated to fix others' problems. A life where your days are filled with pursuits that bring you joy and relationships that uplift your spirit. This is not a selfish dream, it's a deserved reality, one that requires you to protect yourself from the chaos of those unwilling to take responsibility for their own lives. In the end, dealing with irresponsible individuals is not just about setting boundaries, it's about reclaiming your freedom. By saying no to their unreasonable demands, you're saying yes to yourself, your peace, your happiness, and the fulfilling life you deserve. Your time is precious, your energy is finite, and your well-being is worth defending. Let the weight of others' irresponsibility fall away, leaving you with the clarity and space to fully embrace the beauty of your golden years. 5. The ungrateful, protecting your generosity and emotional well-being. As we age, one of the greatest joys is the act of giving, sharing our time, wisdom, love, and resources with those we care about. These acts of kindness allow us to connect on a deeper level, leaving a lasting imprint on the lives of others. There's an unparalleled satisfaction in knowing that your efforts have made someone else's life brighter. However, few things sting more than ingratitude. The ungrateful can sap the joy from even the most heartfelt gestures, turning your generosity into a source of pain and regret. Imagine spending days planning a festive holiday meal. You carefully prepare the dishes, ensuring everything is perfect, a reflection of your love and care. As everyone gathers around the table, instead of gratitude, you hear complaints about the food. Or picture going out of your way to help a friend, running errands, offering advice, or lending a listening ear. only to be met with indifference, as though your effort was expected rather than appreciated. Each instance may seem small in isolation, but over time, the weight of ungratefulness accumulates. It chips away at your enthusiasm, leaving you questioning whether your kindness is truly valued. Ungratefulness doesn't just hurt, it lingers. It turns moments of generosity into painful reminders of being taken for granted. And as the years pass, this emotional burden can become heavier, making you hesitant to extend yourself to others. After all, giving should be a source of joy, not a gateway to disappointment. Recognizing your worth as a giver. It's essential to remind yourself that your generosity is a gift, not an obligation. It comes from a place of love and kindness, and it deserves to be met with appreciation, not criticism or indifference. Ungrateful individuals often fail to see the effort, thought, and care behind your actions. Their lack of acknowledgement is a reflection of their own shortcomings, not of the value of your efforts. When faced with ingratitude, it's important to reaffirm your worth and protect your emotional well-being. If someone dismisses your efforts or responds with criticism, respond with calm assertiveness. "I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm proud of what I've done." This statement not only reclaims your pride, but also sets a clear boundary, signaling that their negativity will not diminish your sense of accomplishment. Focusing on gratitude and mutual respect. The antidote to ungratefulness lies in choosing to surround yourself with people who appreciate and reciprocate your kindness. Gratitude strengthens relationships, turning acts of giving into joyful exchanges rather than one-sided sacrifices. Seek out those who express genuine appreciation, whether it's a heartfelt thank you, a kind gesture in return, or simply the warmth of their presence. These are the connections that enrich your life and make giving a rewarding experience. If certain relationships are consistently marked by ingratitude, it may be time to reassess their place in your life. Letting go of ungrateful individuals isn't an act of cruelty. It's a necessary step to preserve your peace and happiness. Shift your focus to those who truly value your presence and efforts. Friends, family members, or even new connections you cultivate later in life. Cherishing meaningful connections. In this chapter of life, your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious. You've earned the right to prioritize relationships that nurture mutual respect and kindness. Meaningful connections, those built on trust, gratitude, and shared joy, become a source of strength, providing the encouragement and validation that sustain you emotionally. They remind you that your efforts are seen, valued, and cherished. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you creates an environment where giving becomes a reciprocal act of love and appreciation. Whether it's a close friend who always listens with genuine interest, a family member who never takes your help for granted, or a community group that embraces your contributions, these connections ensure that your generosity is met with gratitude and respect. Prioritizing yourself in old age. As we grow older, life naturally invites us to reassess our priorities, focusing on what truly matters. Protecting your emotional health, preserving your energy, and maintaining your sense of joy are essential for living a fulfilling life. The people you choose to surround yourself with play a significant role in shaping your happiness and peace. By recognizing the patterns of manipulative, egocentric, critical, irresponsible, and ungrateful individuals, you can take proactive steps to minimize their impact. Setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care isn't selfish. It's a necessary act of self-love that allows you to thrive. These actions create space for the relationships and experiences that truly enrich your life. Living with dignity, joy, and tranquility. Your time, energy, and experiences are invaluable. You've earned the right to live with dignity, joy, and tranquility. Choose to spend your golden years with people who lift you up, celebrate your presence, and honor your worth. Let go of relationships that bring negativity or drain your spirit. Instead, focus on cherishing moments of peace, embracing the beauty of meaningful connections, and celebrating the journey that brought you to this point. You are enough, just as you are. The person you've become is the result of a lifetime of growth, challenges, and triumphs. Surround yourself with those who see that truth, who treasure your uniqueness, and who honor the richness of your life story. By prioritizing yourself and your well-being, you create a life where giving is met with gratitude, kindness, and joy, a life that reflects the beauty and wisdom of your golden years. Now that we've uncovered the traits of these 5 personality types and discussed strategies to safeguard your peace, let's take a moment to reflect. What have you learned from this video? Has it made you think differently about your relationships or inspired you to take action to protect your well-being? Comment below and share one thing you've learned today that you're committed to practicing in your life. Your insights could inspire someone else on their journey to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on more wisdom and tips to make your golden years truly shine. Thank you for watching, and here's to living with dignity, joy, and tranquility.